Do you have questions concerning planning a Disney trip? Ask them live on the show or submit them on our website at patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com/planning. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Matt with the DPI podcast. Great show. Probably one of the last couple of 2024 that we're going to have. We talked about it a little bit last week, but it looks like we're not going to stream on Christmas Eve. We're not going to stream on New Year's Eve. We probably are going to release a top 10 show that goes over our top 10 videos of the year. We'll probably sprinkle in a live and something else with that as well. So be on the lookout for that probably between Christmas and New Year's. I would imagine that we have that together and put out. And then January, it looks like we are going to go on a little bit of a hiatus in January. Revamp the show a little bit. Peter with Princesses and the Mouse is going to be coming back on. So getting ready to do some more top threes, all that kind of fun content. So really got a lot of cool things coming up in the new year. Just want to take some time with another project and then get ready to go with this project in February. We are going to be moving the show either to Monday or to Wednesday. If you do have a preference, let us know in the chat. And speaking of chat, because you guys have been so awesome, we have the ability for super likes and super chats now. So want to thank you guys for getting us up to that level. If you want to share a super chat, go ahead and hit that button. And everything that the stream makes goes back into the stream, whether it be in content or we use it a lot of different ways, the revenue that we generate. So but it's all coming back into this product here in some form or fashion, whether it be videos on the channel or whether it be upgrades and equipment here to give a better experience on the live show. So definitely want to thank you guys for all the support that you guys have given us this year and in the years past. I mean, we've been doing this now a little over 5 years, so super excited to continue to grow with you guys. So thank you guys all for coming along on this journey with us. With that being said, we are going to go ahead and get into the show in a minute. We are going to get through our intro. We do have a few new subscribers, but I want to say thank you to the 558 of you that have subscribed over on YouTube and the 23 that have followed us over on Twitch. Twitch is going to grow considerably next year, so get ready for that. So let's get into the intro and we'll get into the show. Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome to Disney Planning Insights. Through creative content and live shows, we explain the hidden details of the Disney experience so that our clients... Yeah, I figured that was going to screw up really bad. So... Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome to Disney Planning Insights. Through creative content and live shows, we explain the hidden details of the Disney experience so that our clients can execute memorable adventures. Together with Princesses and the Mouse, Disney Travel, we have helped hundreds of clients plan, book, and prepare for magical Disney vacations. Let our experience help you avoid common planning mistakes and maximize the enjoyment on your next Disney trip. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Matt with the DPI podcast. Why do I do the intro twice? Because the people that see this after it's live don't get to see the original intro. So all that fun talk is definitely for the people that jump on right at 7:15. So if you want to know what we're talking about next week, be on 7:15 and you can be part of that. Big week. We've got some of the results from the European Lorcana Continental Challenge that was held at Disneyland Paris over the weekend. We've got some news about Disneyland 70th anniversary that is coming up next year. And we've got some info on one of the projects that might have hit a roadblock at Walt Disney World. So, a lot to talk about. But before we get into that, let's talk about a couple of new subscribers over on the YouTube channel. You don't have to subscribe in public, but if you do, I'm going to talk about you on the stream. And the first one is Dan, TDM Hunter Cat. Thank you for subscribing on the YouTube channel. Glad to have you here. Let us know if you have any questions or anything that you want to know about Disney. The other one is Marissa Lehman. Marissa, thank you for joining over on YouTube as well. Glad to have you on board. Again, if you have any questions about planning a Disney trip, anything that's going on at the Disney parks, or just have a general rumor that you want me to figure out if it's real or not, let me know. I will hunt down the facts and let you guys know what I find out. Got to have a great conversation with a client today. Walked into a house and there was Disney everywhere. So it was a lot of fun. I love doing that kind of the work I do. I build wheelchairs, and running into Disney fans out in the field just makes those conversations a lot easier. So I had a great one today. Thank you very much for that conversation. If you decide to jump on and check this out, I know we talked about the podcast during the evaluation as well. So thank you for the conversation today. News. We have a lot of news. Running a little late today, so bear with me just a hair. Because like I said, it's getting to the end of the year. We are going to be changing some things going into the new year. If you are interested in what we're going to be changing, definitely jump on at 7:15 next week. We're going to go over a lot of those things. I think next week is going to be our last podcast of the year. So we've got some changes coming up in 2025. They're good changes. I think they are very much going to benefit the show. They're going to benefit our viewers. So definitely want you guys all on board with that. We are switching nights. We still don't know if we're going to go to Mondays or Wednesdays. I would imagine Wednesdays make a little bit more sense, but we'll see. So that's coming next year. And we're going to work a little bit more on kind of how do we expand the Twitch viewership. If that means a little bit more Lorcana content, if that means maybe doing some Lorcana specific videos and that kind of stuff, we may be doing some of that. So we may be like 3 weeks a month doing Disney shows and Disney news shows and the top threes and everything that you guys know and love, and then 1 week a month we may be dedicating to meta talk and gameplay and general conversation of the sustainability of Lorcana, the Disney trading card game. So yeah, we'll see what goes on. So let's get into a little bit of the news. So we talked last week a little bit about the changes that are coming in 2025, and one of the big ones that was a blue sky project, now is coming to reality, is this Lightning McQueen section of Magic Kingdom. I really don't want to call it a whole land. It's 2 rides, possibly an eatery, and a gift shop. I don't know if that constitutes as a land. It is definitely a section. It is going to take the place of Rivers of America and possibly Tom Sawyer Island. And it has hit... I want to start talking about this as a major roadblock, because I really feel like this is something that a hurdle that Disney is going to have a problem clearing because of what the hurdle is. And the big thing is when you do a major construction project like this, you have to show the local government that you have a plan in place on how you are going to shed and manage water in that area. And what Rivers of America did really well is it provided a conduit straight to the lagoon in front of Magic Kingdom, between Ticket and Transportation Center and Magic Kingdom, Seven Seas Lagoon. And it managed the water in that area very well. Well, when you look at the plans for Lightning McQueen's expansion into Magic Kingdom, there isn't a large river there. And I think that changes the water management in that area of the park considerably. And then you talk about adding the villain's land as well. So you're taking out possibly raw land that would naturally pull the water through and turning it into finished land that water would have to shed off of. And that's going to put even more strain on the water management of this area. So there's been some back and forth with the local government and Disney on the permit for this area. And the latest news is that Disney is getting a month-long extension for the deadline to come up with this plan. Like I said, I really think this is becoming a bigger roadblock than Disney anticipated, because they don't necessarily have the control that they used to have of the local government with the oversight district in place. So it's interesting to see how Disney navigates this landscape now, not having full reign of that Celebration Florida area, that Kissimmee Celebration Disney World area like they used to. So Reedy Creek was what the old district was called. So really going to be an interesting 6 months or so, because you look at a lot of the other projects, and a lot of the other projects aren't necessarily changing the water management landscape a ton. You know, Tropical Americas is going on an already developed area, and they're not taking out a huge water feature to do that. Now, if they were going to pave over the lake back there by Everest and put rides and attractions there, I think you'd run into the same problem that they're running into Magic Kingdom right now. But they aren't, so you're not seeing the same types of problems there. You're not going to see the same types of problems with the Monsters, Inc. taking over Grand Avenue area. It's going into a paved area. Most of the subterranean structure is probably going to stay relatively similar, so your water management is going to stay relatively similar. With such a topographical change to that Rivers of America area, it really puts into question if they're going to be able to move the water fast enough if they get a Florida rain to where the park doesn't flood. And that's what the water management is really about, is how do you maintain safety in the parks by getting the water out of the way. So that's really the big thing that's going on there. Let's talk a little bit about 70th anniversary of Disneyland. Disneyland, man, 1955. It's gonna be interesting next year. So it looks like it's going to run, and they do this a lot, but May 16th of 2025 through the summer of 2026. Now, if you remember Disney World's 50th, it ran for about 18 months. This doesn't look like it's going to run as long, but still, we're probably looking at 14, 15 months of this celebration, which is awesome because of some of the things that they are bringing back to the parks. Big thing is they're going to have a new World of Color show. World of Color is the water feature show that is in Disney California Adventure. Fantastic night show. Definitely ranks up there as one of my favorite, probably one of my favorite 2 nighttime shows that Disney has ever done. It is on Illuminations level if you are a World fan and haven't been out the land. So definitely something that is worthwhile to put some time into if you're out there. So World of Color Happiness debuts at Disney California Adventure Park for the 70th anniversary. Big thing coming back, Paint the Night Parade. Paint the Night is an LED float extravaganza. Fantastic night parade. It was not running when we went out there, and it was just like, it's one of those things that I'm willing to fly back out to California just to see this parade. It looks unbelievable on the screen, which means it's going to look even better in person. So that's Paint the Night's going to be coming back. Also, a fan favorite, Wondrous Journeys, the fireworks show at the castle, is going to come back, and that's going to be a cool thing to have back. One of the favorite fireworks shows that Disneyland has put on in recent years. And then Better Together, a Pixar Pal celebration parade at Disney California Adventure Park is going to be coming back as well. Lots of new decorations and new costumes for Mickey and Minnie and all kinds of stuff. You're going to get all kinds of new merchandise and all that kind of stuff. You know that's going to happen. It's Disney. But yeah, lots of cool things going on. So Disney's 70th anniversary starting on May the 16th. Why is that a big date? Because it's a few months after the North American Lorcana Championships that are happening at Disneyland and at Disneyland Resort, which we nailed on the head when we talked about that a few weeks ago. Hopefully you guys got your tickets. Tickets did go on sale for that the Friday after Thanksgiving. And I know a couple of local players did get tickets, so really excited to see how they do in that last chance qualifier, which is a lot of fun. Let's talk a little bit about what happened this weekend in Paris. Paris held the European Continental Championships, which was really, really cool. Had a last chance qualifier, 32 pods of 32 players added to the field that got invites from the previous Lorcana challenges. And Domingo Martinez came out on top playing an Amethyst Ruby deck. Yeah, I said it in alphabetical order instead of Ruby Amethyst. I'm a purist. Which was a surprising winner, I think, when you look at the decks that were expected to be up towards the top, with, you know, Sapphire Ruby being a huge contender, with Emerald Amethyst being a huge contender. You know, Emerald Steel didn't have a lot of play there, a lot less play than we'll see here in January for the North Americans. So I'm interested to see how the counter works now that people have seen kind of how this deck has worked. With the addition of the Diablos, with the addition of the Genies and that kind of stuff. Now, what's big about this win is it is the first continental win, automatic bid into the Worlds, as well as the rest of the top 8 from this event. Also, the winners of all of the other Lorcana challenges will get an invite, and then the top 8 from the North American Continentals next month will get an invite as well. And then if you've already secured an invite and you make top 8 and have the ability to have a second invite, it rolls down to the Saturday standings, the Swiss round standings, for any ties like that. So yeah, so we have our first 13, I think it's 13, 5 and 8 participants in the Worlds. And if there's 13, because what, it was Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas, Toronto, Vegas. Were there 7? Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas, Vegas, Seattle, Toronto. 6. So 6 each side. So 14 Europeans, 14 on the Americans, on the North American side. So 28. Is that going to be the field, a 28 player field for the World Championships? I don't know that there's going to be a last chance qualifier for Worlds. God, that's going to be a hard ticket to get if there is. But yeah, and other things that got announced this weekend. So there was a huge stream when it came to this event, and they announced the next 2 sets of Lorcana that are coming out. The first one's going to be coming out in March of 2025, and it is Arkazaya's Island, and it's going to be at the Land of Pets, and it's going to feature Bolt. You want to talk about a forgotten movie? Bolt is the featured character on the artwork for Arkazaya's Island. And then Reign of Jafar is going to be coming in Q2 of 2025. The way that these lay out, it will be should be a July release. So, which isn't Q2, that's Q3. I hope they don't try and jam 4 sets into next year. But we'll see. We'll see. Jay, Bolt is going to be an Amber support character. You watch. It really looks like it. Just the way that the card looks, it looks like it's got a little amber to it. Yeah. And then you're going to get the hamster, and you're going to get Penny, and you're going to get all this support, because they really want to make Amber Sapphire work. So, yeah, that'll be an interesting one if it's a support character. You're going to get Super Bark, is going to be one of the actions. So, yeah, we'll talk about it on Thursday, because I think when we did the Toy Story one, when we found out that Pixar was going to be a coming in 2025, we came up with a lot of the cards that should be included in that set. So, no, it'll be interested to talk about these next 2 sets and what they're going to entail with the added cards. I think we're still too early in the meta for this set to really talk about the shift in meta for the next set. But I really feel like it's leaning back on Amethyst. Because when you look at, like, Amethyst Steel came through again, and then you had your Emerald Amethyst and your Ruby Amethyst decks that were strong, that made it to the finals. So Amethyst really got a good bump, and I think over the last couple of sets, it's gotten a fantastic bump. I think you have to control that somehow, and that's going to come through Sapphire control. So I would imagine that we're probably going to see a lot on the Sapphire side, either figured out in this set or added to in the next set to really work on that control of how do you get rid of that card draw, how do you neutralize crabs, that kind of stuff that Amethyst is really good at. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting next couple of sets. Yeah, and just really working through this set, the shift in kind of my mindset in playing is going away from, controlling the other player's hand to getting ahead in my hand. So it's really kind of nullifying, I won't say the Emerald board presence, but more of the Emerald discard presence. I'm looking at it from a different direction now. So yeah, it's very interesting. Let's see. Land clearing begins west of Magic Kingdom for roadway expansion. New hotel speculated. So they've been talking about this western push for a while now. And what western push means is, what does a road behind Shades of Green, behind and I want to make sure that this is expansion and rerouting of Floridian Way north of Grand Floridian Resort. So this is, once you get past the Polynesian, you get up to the Grand Floridian, the road goes down to 2 lanes and kind of peters out. It becomes an access road, basically, once you get north of the Floridian. It's not a guest use road at that point. And what they're looking at is, if you go north of the Floridian, between Shades of Green and Magic Kingdom, you've got land there. And if you would expand the road enough, you could potentially fit another resort back in there. And that's kind of what this article from Blog Mickey is getting at, is once you get to the back side of Magic Kingdom, or to the west side of Magic Kingdom, the map on Blog Mickey is a little construed, because it's not facing north and south, but it does have some good landmarks in it. So this would be the area, and I would imagine that they need to expand this area just to get trucks in there for the construction of Villains Land, because this is going to be the area directly off stage of the Villains Land expansion. So yeah, it's an interesting idea, because they could potentially put a Villains Hotel back there, and possibly a back entrance to the park. So if you think about like Disneyland, you can get into the park from the main gate. You can get into the park from, in Disney California Adventure, from the Grand Californian, and you can get into Disneyland from the monorail. You can get on the monorail in downtown Disney and take it into the park, and you would scan in downtown Disney, so over by Disneyland Resort. So it's an interesting idea about a new hotel back there. They really haven't talked a whole lot about a new hotel. I mean, think about how much they are downplaying Reflections right now. That project that started prior to COVID and kind of fizzled out, and then now it's back in full command as a full DVC resort, and they're really not saying a whole hell of a lot about it. So really interesting to see what's going on there, and if they would put another resort there. I still think the next big resort splash needs to be an entrance resort at Epcot. I think it's the perfect park to do it. You've got the monorail concept, you've got just the idea and the imagination that could go into that resort on that front gate. I mean, you think about that front gate, it's already built up anyway. You just can put the resort right on top of everything that's already there. So yeah, it's an interesting thought process. So interested to see if we see anything at Destination D23 this year or in 2025 in regards to the 2 hotel projects that could possibly be going on. Because the Polynesian Village tower will be done, so it's going to be on to the next project. Tiana's Bayou Adventure in Disneyland dropping its virtual queue this week. It's going to go to a standby queue, which is great. Less virtual queues means less that you have to be up at 7 o'clock in the morning to try and get, which is awesome. Yeah, it's natural progression. And I think the rides that are holding onto it at Disney World should drop it too. There shouldn't be virtual queues unless it is a brand new ride. There's no reason to have a virtual queue in the park. Absolutely none. Had a couple of after hours things that were the only couple of things left to talk about. Disneyland After Dark 90s night tickets go on sale to the general public on the 12th. Price is $149. Inspire Magic Key holders can purchase starting on December 10th. All other Magic Key holders on December 11th. So if you're an Inspire ticket or Inspire pass holder, you can get your tickets today. Other Magic Passes or Magic Key holders tomorrow. General public on Thursday. Disneyland After Dark is kind of these are special edition events. They're all themed, so this is 90s night. They're also doing the Sweethearts night ticket. 90s night is going to be March 4th and March 6th. The Disneyland Sweethearts night tickets are January 21st, 23rd, 28th, February 4th, 6th, 9th, 11th, and 13th of next year. And same thing, prices range for this one, $149 to $179, but the scheduling of the ticket release is the same. Inspire on today, all other Magic Keys tomorrow, and general public on Thursday. Disneyland 70th. Disneyland Company declares 2025 cash dividend of $1 per share, up 33% over the previous year. Disney as a stock has been doing well. Disney as a stock is going to Park Pass. I think it needs to be at Animal Kingdom. If they didn't have Animal Kingdom Lodge already, I think it would make a lot of sense at Animal Kingdom. I struggle with putting a structure like that at Animal Kingdom with all the noise that would have to be associated with it. And I think that's where Animal Kingdom gets a pass on a lot of big projects because of that. So, kind of interesting. AK needs a little love. I do believe they do. I am waiting to hear, and I was actually talking to somebody about it today. Dronezios, their master plan is to put a drone show at Animal Kingdom. I am waiting to hear confirmation if that's going to come in 2027, if they're working on putting that together in conjunction with the opening of the Tropical Americas new land there. Just because the Disney Springs drone show was the Florida test run to see if they need to make any tweaks to their product so that it could be a longer lived product in Florida. I had talked to somebody from Dronezios about a year ago. It was after we got back from Paris and when we started getting rumors about the Walt Disney World stuff. And they basically said that they were concerned that their drones couldn't hold up in the Florida weather. If you watched the show, if you got a chance to see the show at Disney Springs, I guarantee you probably saw 2 to 3 drones fall out of the sky in that show. Um, they had some problems. They're going to make some changes to their product. You're probably going to see another test event, whether it be one of the celebrations at Magic Kingdom. I don't know that they're going to do it at Animal Kingdom with all the construction going on, but they'll do it somewhere. What do we got going on next year? We really don't have anything going on next year. We got, what, is it 45th of Epcot, maybe? They may do a show with that. I don't know. But that's the grand plan of Dronezios, was to have a night show in one of the parks stateside. They're the ones that do the night shows at Disneyland Paris with the drones. So, yeah. So, I would imagine we'll probably get the tease at Destination D23 this year, and then full product when they do the opening of Tropical Americas at Animal Kingdom. So, yeah, I think Animal Kingdom's going to get the love. I just think it's going to be in a little bit different way with this new land and then a new night show. I think you're going to see a really transformed Animal Kingdom once Dino Land is gone, with the Zootopia show taking over the Bugs Life area and then the Tropical Americas area. I think it's going to be a really, really different experience going into that park. I mean, you think about 10 years ago, even before Pandora, walking into that park and going left really got you nowhere, and going right put you into Dino Land, and now you're going to walk left and go into an alien area, basically, and go right into a brand new Tropical Americas area. So, yeah, I think I think Animal Kingdom in 2027 is going to be an interesting park. Does the Encanto ride, the addition of Encanto and Indiana Jones, make it a full day park? I don't think so. But if you put a good night show on it, extend the hours, I think Animal Kingdom not being open at night hurts it more than Disney realizes, because I think that is one of the neatest parks to be at night. You had the ability to run the tour, the night tour. You had a night show there. You've had multiple night shows that were okay, nothing spectacular, but they kept people there. Everest is awesome at night. Pandora is unbelievable at night. Wife wants to know if you think Alien Encounter will ever come back. Never say never. I think we're starting to see Disney evolve into more of a Universal style park. I'm not going to say it's ever going to get to that level, because I feel like Universal really targets a different age group. That 13 to 28 age group, where Disney has had and let's say had always been good at finding ways to keep families together through the park. With the additions of Tron, with the additions of Guardians, that's gone away a little bit. And even, Everest kind of started it a little bit. But, Everest is still one that is not as intense as most people think. But Disney is really starting to evolve into a park that a family splits up a little bit. And that's concerning, because I think that was kind of Disney's bread and butter for a long time, was how do you keep the family together? So, an experience like Alien Encounter was one of those that you weren't going to have little kids in. You probably weren't going to have adults in the grandparents weren't going to it for the most part. So you were taking that family and kind of pulling it apart a little bit, and I think that's why it failed in Magic Kingdom. Now, could something like that come back in Hollywood Studios? Possibly. I think that would be a great park for something like that. But it doesn't work in Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom has to continue to be the family park. And if it ever goes away from it, that's going to be the downfall of Disney. Is if that flagship park, if the Magic Kingdom, if Disneyland Paris park, if those parks get away from being that, hey, the family can stay together for 75% of the day, if they get away from that formula, I think those parks fail. They become no better than a Universal park. So yeah, there's my thoughts on Alien Encounter. I didn't know if that I was going in that going that route tonight, but hey, thanks for jumping on Park Pass and chatting things up. I'm more than willing to talk about stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff I love talking about, is what makes sense and what does the future of Disney look like. Man, I really think that's all the news I've got. So 7:58, I'm gonna jump off. I'm gonna tuck the kids in on time tonight, guys, and I will see you guys hopefully next Tuesday. If I'm not going to be on next Tuesday, I'll be filming a high school band thing. So I will probably do an early show and then rebroadcast it at 7:15. So I think either way, there's going to be some type of show next week. And then, like I said, last show of the year next week. And we'll be back sometime either very end of January or beginning of February with the updated show, either on Monday or Wednesdays, and we'll post about that and all that kind of stuff as well. So again, thank you guys all for joining us tonight. You guys have a wonderful night, and we will talk to you hopefully next Tuesday. Bye now. Hey, we didn't have any guests on tonight. We haven't had any guests on for the last few months. But we had a great show. Check it out. And be with us at 7:15 next week for some exciting announcements. On social media, you can find us in a lot of different places. The easiest is going to be over on Facebook at DPI Podcast for the show page, at PATM Disney Travel for the travel page. If you're an X or Twitter user, you can find us at Disney Insights over on Twitter X. We also have the YouTube page, the Twitter account, Twitch. We've got everything. Just come find us. Thank you guys all for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, following, everything that you do to support the channel.